Good evening, everyone. Brian Mastry again from First Alert 6 Election Headquarters. The latest numbers are in for the city primary. To give you an idea, at 8 o'clock, there were 42,000 votes that came in. Those were all early ballots, folks who had filled out a form and then sent it to the election commissioner, dropped it into the drop box. These latest numbers are those who voted from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. today. Here's how it breaks down. You have Mayor Jean Stothert right now looking for unprecedented fourth term. She's in a commanding lead with 20,400 and some votes. Second place is Douglas County Treasurer and retired Omaha Police Captain John Ewing. He is at 16,000 right now. Mike McDonald, who has spent as much money as Jean Stothert in this race, is at 10,954 votes. This doesn't look good for him making the top two, and I'll explain why in a moment. Jasmine Harris, who ran a couple years ago and just came within a few hundred votes of getting into the top two. She is at 4,191 votes. And here you have Terry Brewer at 323. So here's why. We had 42,000 early votes that came in. For the people that voted today, that was just 10,000 people. The next numbers that come in an hour will be folks that voted from 2 p.m. to 8 o'clock tonight. And if you look at it there, the Douglas County Election Commissioner told me there's maybe 6,000. Oh, it's not working now. Anyway, there are 6,000 to 7,000 ballots that were turned in today at those drop boxes. So 6,000 to 7,000, those don't get counted until Friday. But if you're only looking at another 10,000 votes that might be coming in for the late, and a lot of folks told me that there were not lines, that it was really low turnout across the city this evening, that is why it's going to be hard to make up this sort of difference between John Ewing and Mike McDonald. Let's look at the competitive city council races now. District 2, if you remember, there were... This is freezing on me, that's why. Here we go. This is District 2. 9 people were in this race, 9 of them. So Ben Gray right now has the lead, 1,252 votes. Remember, the top two advance. He's spent 10 years on the city council already, lost his last election to Juanita Johnson. But right now, the incumbent Juanita Johnson is in third place. She's in jeopardy of not making the top two and moving on to the May election. Community organizer Lavanya Goodman currently is in second place. You know her, she's in the news quite a bit as president of the 24th Street Business Improvement District. Maurice Jones rounds out the top 4, and then we'll look at the other 5 candidates. Here you have Michael Lee Jr., William King, Cheryl Weston, Anthony Rogers Wright. But right now it looks like these 3 are in a race for second place between Ben Gray to move on to the next round. Let's go to the other competitive race 4 in the District 4 race. Now, Ron Hugg is the incumbent, but if you remember right, the city council appointed him when Vinnie Palermo had to give up his seat after being indicted in a public corruption scandal. He ended up serving time in federal prison. He is out now. So Ron Hugg has the lead here with almost 2,000 votes. Andrew Adams is second with 877. Gilbert Ayala, who has run for this seat before and others, he is currently in third with 752. Jonathan Flacco Renteria is in fourth. Let's look at the non-competitive races, and what I mean by that is these 2 candidates, because there's only 2, they're both going to move on. Same in District 3. District 5 is different. I can already declare Don Rowe a winner because he's going to be running against himself in May. Same for Brinker Harding. And then if you go to Northwest Omaha, Amy Melton versus Tim Carter. Some 8,000 people voting in that district, which is a pretty good number compared to some of the other urban districts that not as many people were turning out at the polls. But the big story right now is you have the top 2 money that was spent in the race. You saw a lot of Mike McDonald commercials. You've seen a lot of Jean Stothert commercials. Mike McDonald in jeopardy of not advancing to the top 2. Some of this could be party affiliations, perhaps. Mayor Jean Stothert, Republican, longtime Republican and an incumbent. She's been doing this job for 12 years. John Ewing, a Democrat. Mike McDonald has been a Democrat for most of his life, but then he had a falling out while he was a state senator with the state party, so he turned to be a part of the Republican Party. Jasmine Harris is a Democrat. And what's interesting here is if you look at the breakdowns, in the city of Omaha right now, the voter registrations, and let me see if I can get this to work now. You have 96,000 Republicans that could vote in Omaha. You have 114,000 Democrats. And then you have another 75,000 nonpartisan. So that could make or break the list, break the race. But if you see, there is almost a 20,000 difference between Democrat and Republican registrations in the city of Omaha, much different than when you look at the red state of Nebraska. The next round of results come in an hour. We will have the latest for you on First Alert 6 at 10 o'clock. For now, I'm Brian Mastry, First Alert 6.